So today we wanted to, today is the first day of Kartik, Damodar Mass, and we wanted to speak about Damodar in overall terms, because in the next few weekends we'll go through some detail about this glorious pastime that took place over 5,000 years ago between Krishna and Yashoda Mai. And but today what we wanted to do was look through the salient points in summary, and what one should do on a daily basis in this month of Damodar, and also how one can fast in this month. What is the purpose of that fasting? So like that. And after that, the plan is to go through who is Damodar. We know he's Krishna, but then who is Krishna? So just to get that basis of understanding, we may already know this, but it's always good to revise this and just increase our faith. And the more we get convinced about who is Krishna, the better chance we have of, when we're talking to others, to also reflect that in our conviction. So let's make a start. This is the month of Damodar. It's also known as Kartik Mass. It starts today and it's until the 30th of November. So another 30 odd days. And it's the most auspicious and truly benevolent month for the Sukriti, the good pious activity, spiritual pious activity obtained by performing bhakti for the pleasure of the Lord in this month. It's 10,000 times more than any other time of the year. We just had Purushottam Mass, but that comes every 3 years, whereas Damodar month comes every year. And Purushottam Mass, it is said, is more potent than Damodar month, which is no doubt a fact. However, because this month contains this extraordinary Leela between the Lord and his pure devotee, and this Leela has so much depth to it, understanding this Leela will fulfill the purpose of Lord Krishna's coming down to this world, which is Janma Karma Chamaya Devyam. If we can understand his appearance and his pastimes, we don't have to come back to this world again. We go back to the spiritual world. So hence why this month is considered to be extraordinarily important. And why you will see devotees around the world, especially in Bharat, really get excited when this month comes. So the main reason for this is because Krishna is pleased with Radha, and this is actually her special month. So we'll come to that in a little while. This month commemorates how Mother Yashoda was able to bind the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, with the ropes of her love and affection. The same Supreme Lord whom neither Lord Balaram nor Lord Shiva and not even Lakshmi Devi, goddess of fortune, can ever bind, was bound by the selfless, pristine, parental love of Mother Yashoda. So this is one of the classic paintings that really gives the mood of this pastime. You can see Krishna looking a little bit scared, a little bit terrified. Mother Yashoda determined. It is in this very month that sweet Krishna performed amazing pastimes of mischief and stealing butter from his own mother. He even had the audacity to feed the monkeys with this butter. Makhan. He displayed transcendental fear from his mother, and also running from her, trying to escape the punishment. Another glorious painting. And she tried her hardest to bind him. After putting her own endeavor and also receiving the mercy of the Lord, the two ingredients that a devotee needs in order to bind Krishna, she tied him up to a grinding mortar. There you go. Same picture again. And he was only 2 months, 2 years, 2 months old. Krishna later crawled with the mortar to the Yamularjuna trees growing in the courtyard of Nand Maharaj, and he delivered the 2 sons of Kuvera, Nalakuvera and Manigriva. So his divinity shows through even his sweetness. So we will be discussing that in a lot more detail in coming weeks. Remembering this beautiful pastime and hoping to one day be able to to tie Damodar with our ropes of love. All the devotees offer ghee lamps in the evening. We do it actually 3 times. That's ideal. Morning, afternoon, and then evening, if possible. Singing the beautiful Damodarastakam, which we will do that today, a little bit later on, creating very transcendentally surcharged atmosphere to attract the minds of the conditioned souls of this material world and make them realize their eternal identity as servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarupa Haya Krishnera Nitya Das. Very nice verse. So this is the ghee lamp offering to Damodar. This month is also known as Urja Vrat. Urja means Shakti and refers to Sri Krishna's internal potency, which is none other than Vrindavaneshwari Sri Radharani. And thus, she is the predominating deity of this month of Kartik. And the glorification of her transcendental name, fame, forms, and qualities is the main vrat to be performed in this month. So actually, this month belongs to Radharani. She's not even in this pastime. So we'll see how it does come to her. This is the month where Radha and the other Sakhis sang the Gopi Geet, which is truly relished by the elevated Vaishnavas, following the mood of the young damsels of Braj. So we sang that yesterday. Fantastic bhajan, and so nicely sung by Karuna Bandar. And this Gopi's love for Krishna is unsurpassed, and the foremost of whom is Srimati Radharani. Kartik is named after Radha. This is quite an interesting point. Radha's name, mother's name, is Kirtida. And so Radha is called Kirtida Kumari. Hence, Radha is also known as Kirtika. And so this month is called Kartik Damodar. It's named after Radharani, which is very, very interesting. Just one second. So, Amita Krishna Prabhu? Good, okay. So I just wanted to repeat this point because we don't often hear this, and Amita Krishna Prabhu just come online. So I thought I'd just repeat this point. This month is also known as Urja Vrata. Urja means Shakti, refers to Sri Krishna's internal potency, which is none other than Srimati Radharani. She is the predominating deity of the month of Kartik. And the glorification of her transcendental name, fame, forms, and qualities is the main vrat to be performed in this month. This is the month when Radha and the other gopis sang the Gopi Geet, which is truly relished by the elevated Vaishnavas following the mood of the young damsels of Braja, whose love for Krishna is unsurpassed, and the foremost of whom is Srimati Radhika. Kartik, the month, the name of the month is named after Radha. Radha's mother's name is Kirtida. And so Radha is known as Kirtida Kumari. Hence, Radha is also known as Kirtika. And this turns into Kartik. And Kartik Damodar is Radha Damodar. So this month is known as Kartik Damodar as well. So very inspiring. Very inspiring. This is how, even though Radha doesn't appear in this pastime, this month actually is glorifying her. This is the singing of the Gopi Geet. We often hear also, Radha Damodar ki jai. But as we just mentioned, Radha doesn't even feature in this pastime, which is mainly between Yashoda Mai and Krishna. However, this is so interesting. In the Krishna Kanamrit, written by Bilva Mangal Thakur, there is a mention of a pastime that took place in the spiritual world, not in this world, but in the spiritual world. That's between Radha and Krishna. Once, actually, Radharani tied up Krishna. They'd agreed to meet at a specific time, but Krishna came 2 hours late, which is a little bit more later than normal. He makes her wait. But this time he's made her wait such a long time.
So when I heard this pastime, actually, they were saying, Indians are always late. And this is the reason. It originates from Krishna.
But this time he was so late. Radha's used to him being a little late, but this is really taking the mickey. So Krishna made some excuse, busy due to preparations for Govardhan Puja. She wasn't impressed. In fact, she was fuming. She took a golden belt from her waist and tied Krishna to a tree. So Jiva Goswami mentions that Krishna was ecstatic with Radharani's anger. Due to being tied, Krishna is called Damodara. This is an intimate pastime, so it does not occur in Bhoma, Vrindavan. It doesn't occur in this world when Krishna comes here. This is in the spiritual kingdom. It's a very special pastime. Hence why Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara Radhe. Therefore, we worship Yashoda Damodar and Radha Damodar in this month. In temples in Vrindavan, Radha and Krishna are tied with a thin golden rope from Radharani's waist to Krishna's waist. Very interesting.
And you usually can't see this golden rope because the deities are decorated with all sorts of things. So that's why you can't see it. If it's not busy, you can ask the pujari and he will show you.
Yeah, if you ever get there, of course. This month is truly glorious, not only due to the aforementioned reasons, but also because many prominent, pleasing pastimes of the Lord were performed in this month. We know that. Like yesterday, the previous month ended with Sharad Purnima. And yesterday, actually, Priti asked a question, why are we doing this Damodar Aarti the night before?
Lamps.
Yeah, lighting the lamp. My personal view is it's just the enthusiasm. I've asked for years why this is the case, and nobody's really given me a proper answer. I think it's just the enthusiasm of the devotees knowing that Damodar month is coming, and they want to start ahead of time. So take the opportunity while you can. So they do it from the Sharad Purnima evening. And of course, we know what happened. Sharad Purnima, Ras Leela took place. This month also we had the gopis having this Ras Leela, which was really the first occasion when the gopis had this direct one-to-one with Krishna. It's the appearance of Radha Kund, Shyam Kund, although one of the acharyas says it took place in a different time, Jiva Goswami, wasn't it? But anyway, we take it in this month because it's always good to celebrate the appearance of Radha Kund and Shyam Kund.
Yeah, because the original Radha Kund was 5,000 years ago when Krishna was here. So that basically the appearance of Radha Kund that we celebrate, this is what Jiva Goswami has written, is the time when actually Lord Chaitanya came to Vrindavan and he actually discovered the two ponds. And when he came in the area, he just lost consciousness. So that he realized that this is the area where the two kunds are. And the locals actually knew the ponds as Kali Khet and sorry, yeah, forgotten now what the other one was. Yeah, but that's how the locals knew them as. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually instructed Jiva Goswami to really excavate the area and give us what we have today now.
And that was actually done by Raghunath Das Goswami, the building of the current Radhakund in Shamkund. And then there's of course, Diwali takes place in a couple of weeks' time, less than a couple of weeks' time on Amavasya. Govardhan, the day after, which is Govardhan Puja. So this month is phenomenal month where Gomata is worshipped. And we have to keep remembering this. We don't remember Gomata. We don't care for Gomata necessarily. Krishna, he can't live without Gomata. If he doesn't see Gomata in the morning, things don't go well. He loves Gomata. He cares for Gomata so much. So Govardhan is a time when Gomata is worshipped. Very, very beautiful month. Of course, Prabhupada disappeared in this month as well. Went back to the spiritual world. And other auspicious days go past to me when Krishna first takes the cows for herding. Tulsi Viva takes place.
And actually, so going back to Prabhupada, it is really important because he actually showed us how one dies. Yes, Riyansh?
That my question is why that hill called as Govardhan?
Why is it called Govardhan?
Yes, Mataji.
That was a name given to the mountain by his father, in fact, wasn't it? Because Govardhan. Go means Gomata. Govardhan is benefit.
Yeah. It gives so much, so many things to Gomata, like all the grass and things like that.
That's what it means. I think the name was actually given by his own father, you know. But anyway, we'll check it out. Thank you for asking that question. Very nice question. Good boy. Shows you're listening and you're thinking and analyzing it. Very good, boy. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just saying. Yeah, it's the passing away of Srila Prabhupada is actually really important because he actually showed us how how a devotee actually passes away.
So also Tulsi Viva Bali Vaman Leela took place in this month. Kurma Mohini appeared. So that means the churning of the ocean was in this month. So Lakshmi Devi appeared on this month.
That's why I have Lakshmi Puja.
A tear from Vishnu fell in the Amrit pot and Tulsi appeared. So she also appeared in this month. Krishna kills Keshi, Vyomasura, and Kans in this month. So they were really fortunate. A crew came to take Krishna to Mathura in this month. Dhruv had darshan of Lord Vishnu in Madhuvan when he was doing his tapasya millenniums ago. Ambarish Maharaj also finished this year long fast near Vishramghat. And Durvasa Muni, who insulted Ambarish, he was fleeing from the Shudarshan for 1 year. He came back in this month. Radharani was coronated as Vrindavaneshwari at Imli Tal. Govardhan Kund was formed. Govind Kund, yeah. This is when Indra insulted Krishna and the Bijvasis. Yep, Govardhan time, that's right. Must have been towards the end because he waited for a while, didn't he? Water is important due to Matsya Avatar. So devotees bathe 3 times a day. Radha Damodara also appeared, and Jiva Goswami was gifted the deity by Rupa Goswami in this month. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati instructed Prabhupada at Radhakund in 1935, in this month, that if you ever get money, print books. And that order, he stuck to that order till the end. So what can devotees do every day this month? Offer ghee lamp, candle, we've talked about, to Damodar. And also, you want to say this?
Yeah. And also you offer the ghee lamp to the sky Because basically you're saying that Krishna is everywhere, so I'm offering this ghee lamp everywhere. And also this gesture, it's said that any ancestors who are stuck anywhere also get liberated by this act that we do.
Okay. We sing this Damodara Astakam every day. Try to memorize it. It's possible. Do extra rounds every day, Maha Mantra. This is actually one of the main tapasyas that we should try to.
I do 8 rounds.
Very good. 8 rounds.
Very
Wow,
good,
that's
Riyash.
incredible. That's more than a lot of adults. So we try to do more. This is the whole idea of any vrat, to increase our remembrance of Krishna to please him. If we're fasting, but we're forgetting Krishna, then we're missing the point. The idea is, during this time, to remember more.
Okay. I can do that everything.
Okay, hang on a second. What's it? If you
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to turn
yeah.
off
I
the
know.
sound.
I usually do it.
Good, thank you. Worship Tulsi. This is a very nice month. She appeared in Kartik as well. So read the Bhagavad Gita, especially this 12th chapter. And the reason for the 12th chapter is called Bhakti Yoga, devotional service. And Bhakti Devi is none other than Srimati Radharani. So we want to become close to Radha and Krishna, divine couple. So we should associate with the Bhagavad Gita. And this in this is also contained. There's a lot of astakams which glorify Krishna and Radha. But here, Krishna's glorifying the devotee. He's got his own astakam for the devotee called Bhakta Astakam. The last 8 verses from 13 to 20 are the Bhakta Astakam spoken by Krishna to Radharani. So this is particularly important chapter, if possible, to memorize, but definitely to recite in this month. Very, very auspicious. Recite the Gopi Geet. Luckily, we've at least done it once in our life. So thank you very much to Karuna for allowing. Oh, it's Gaur Kishore Das is a
Disappearance in this month.
Oh, in this month. Okay, who's that?
Govind.
Govind Prabhu. Thank you very much, Govind Prabhu. Thank you for joining us as well. Huh? We can also try a fast. It is good to do some tapasya, extend ourselves in this month. Do a little austerity to please Krishna. That's the only reason. It's not to please our ego so that we can tell people, hey, you know what, I fasted. But it actually is to please Krishna. One fast, maybe, can be no grains in this month. So Alice, are you there? Okay, good. So many devotees, they take this vrat, especially if they're living in Vrindavan, because you get a little bit more inspiration. So many devotees around you are all fasting and you're the only one not fasting. You look a little out of place. Peer pressure is always good. Let's see what this is. So in this day and age, it's quite easy to do this, no grains, if one wants to, of course. This is all voluntary. There's no force. Krishna won't force us to do anything. This is just to really increase our connection with him. We fast, we take a little austerity, and we're saying to Krishna, my dear Lord, I want to please you with my austerity. Please accept it. Another one is having grains once a day. Dal, chapati, rice, just eating once a day. As soon as you stand up from your meal, no more grain meals. Yeah, it's named after Radharani. That's right, Priti. There are many other variations, as you like, whatever suits your circumstances, because some people work, some people are at home. And sometimes when you're at home, you're always eating. So
At the moment with lockdown, everyone's going to be at home.
Oh.
In London anyway,
Yeah.
or in the UK.
Yeah, true. That's true.
But with this fasting as well, if you can, what you do is you make a vow on the first day. So actually, we should have mentioned before we're going to dive into this month and or any bhakti that we're going to undertake. We should all actually make a vow that this is what I'd like to do. Please give me the strength, Radharani. It is your month, and I know you are my only shelter and my well-wisher. So I'd like to take this vow, and you can say whatever you want. Even for fasting, you can just say, I'm going to try for the first week to do this, and if I succeed, I'll carry on. So you don't have to commit for the whole month, or you can say, I'll fast alternate days, whatever suits you. But it's nice to make that vow on that first day.
And we can do it today. It's not too late. It's the first day. So if you want to take anything extra on, and I would say do stretch yourself, do stretch ourselves, because hey, who knows how many more Damodara months we will actually see. There's no guarantee. So make the most of this one, especially if we're in this lockdown situation. You turn a disadvantage into an advantage, and that'll go a long way.
Yeah, and basically you just seek the blessings of Prabhupada, Guru, and the devotees as well. That's basically, these are your well wishes, really. So you can't really do anything without them.
That's a good point. But the idea is more bhakti, less gossip, less TV, and less social media, unless it's, of course, spiritually related. But this is a good month. And the idea actually of these months, like the Purushottam month, is you take on some commitment to practice something. And because you're doing it for a whole month, it becomes practice. It becomes standard, a habit. Becomes a habit.
Yeah, because I think even Gopalash, he says, to form a habit, it takes 21 days. So the whole month, by the end of the month, you have formed a good habit.
So if it's a good habit. So and then you want to hang on to that good habit. So it becomes perhaps a lifetime event, life-changing event.
And also you should, you should try give up at least one negative aspect. If you can't give up something, a physical thing, what you can do is give up a negative emotion, like anger or something like that.
Okay. Any questions on that? Alice, are you happy?
Sorry, just one more thing. If you're not able to do anything for whatever reason, it is said that
We'll do that next.
That maybe you can serve a devotee who is actually following this vrat, and then you also get some benefit as well. You can feed them, or you can serve them in some way, like I don't know, buy some boga for them and things like that in lockdown. I don't know, whatever is you feel you can do. If you're not able to do anything for whatever reason it is.
And donation is good, isn't it? To
charity.
Deities.
Yeah. So for Purushottam, the charity was actually to others, like devotees or Brahmins. For Kartik, the main charity is to the temple or to the deities. So you can buy things for the deities. That goes a long way.
And one thing we just did, one devotee very kindly donated £2,000 to ISKCON Vrindavan, and we sent that recently. So if anybody does want to send Lakshmi to Vrindavan, you can do it through the London Institute of Vedic Education charity, and we'll get, if you UK taxpayer, we get 25% back from the government, which will also go to Vrindavan Dham. So this person donated 2,000 plus another £500 will go when we get the tax back from the very generous UK government. So
yes, Prabhu. Oh, Claire, thank you so much. Because I was wondering, last year I've been to Seho Temple a couple of times during the month of Kartik, and after Mangalati, you will see the meal has grains. Yeah. And I was told not to eat grains during the month of Kartik. So I was wondering why they then have grains on the menu. So you've explained it to me. It's much clearer. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
But also realize it is voluntary. It's not that you have to fast. And devotees, it's more important for devotees to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. And if they're distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, you need some energy, you need some strength. And you may have to eat normally in order to conduct that service.
Yeah.
It's more important to conduct the service than the fast.
But Prabhu, in one of the Prabhu's online teachings, he also said you have to abstain from grains. However, you can eat root vegetables.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So there's lots of vegetables you can still eat. Even things like broccoli and carrots and cauliflower. You can eat all those things, courgettes and things like that. Because those are not grains.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Mataji.
That's okay.
Yeah. Who said that you have to fast? Who gave that guidance?
So one of the Prabhus in Ghana temple was doing online teaching, and he was explaining the benefits of the month of Kartik, and he want to abstain from grains during the month of Kartik. Okay. However, you can eat things like yam, which is root vegetable, potatoes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine. Yes, very nice. Very good. If you can do it, very good. But just don't forget, if not eating grains makes you very tired and you can't focus on the Lord, then the point of the fasting is missed. The point of the fast is to please the Lord. But if the fasting leads you to forget the Lord, then it's counterproductive. It's more important to remember the Lord as much as possible, to serve the Lord. That's the tapasya. The fasting is, sometimes we are fasting, but our ego is feasting. Hey, you know what? I'm fasted the whole month. I deserve a medal. So we've had a big feast on our ego.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Nabi Babu.
Hare Krishna.
Am I late? I just joined in.
Literally
3:30. You got the old style clock still, haven't you?
No, because time change here also. That's why I'm a bit confused.
Okay. Yes. We started about 35 minutes ago.
But we've only done the Damodara. You already know all of this. But the next bit is what you wanted to. You were saying to Anand Vijay Prabhu that to establish that Krishna. I've made an attempt at that.
But I didn't want to miss anything. I'm sorry.
The notes will be there.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know how come I missed it. I don't know. Anyway, thank you. Thank you, Babuji.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for your encouragement. Yeah. Thank you so much. So the last bit, you want to say?
Okay, so basically the last 5 days is called Bhishma Panchak. And this is actually the last 5 days of Bhishma's life. He fasted before giving up his mortal body. So devotees also try and fast on these 5 days, which are the final days of the Kartik month. Usually, last few years, it's always been 4 days, but luckily this year we've got 5 days of Krishna Panchak. So we have an extra day. And Krishna has put all the potency of Kartik in these days. So if someone has not been able to do anything all month, and fasting on these 5 days, especially just Ekadashi fasting on these days is recommended. And this will be equivalent to fasting the whole month. So this is like the Bhim Ekadashi, Pandav Nirjal Ekadashi. You know, if you've just done that, it's equivalent to having done all the Ekadashis in the whole month.
Yeah.
But devotees who are really serious actually fast the 5 days on just the 5 go mata products. So, you know, first it will be cow dung, and then cow urine, and then ghee, yogurt, and then milk. That's all they would take those last 5 days.
I always put a health warning on that. Don't do it at home.
But we know a couple of devotees who actually do this.
Yeah. One is a Prabhupada disciple,
Yes.
Ajamil. And he also doesn't sleep much in those 5 days.
And I think they do the maximum number of rounds as well on those days.
Yeah. Any questions, any comments on Damodara before we shift on to Lord Krishna? Damodara Maas ki jai, Kartik Maas ki jai. Happy fasting, heavy feasting, happy feasting in this month. So who is Damodara exactly? This actually refers to Krishna. It's another name of Krishna. And Krishna is described as Supreme Personality of Godhead. So on what basis is Krishna described? Now, some of this is going to be very basic because devotees who have been following and being in the movement for years will know all this. But I always am of the view that even if we know it, it's better to reinforce it. And when we reinforce it, our faith deepens, our conviction increases. And when we are trying to preach, which is our main function in life, we will be able to reflect that in our preaching. The more we're convinced, the better chance we have of convincing others. So if you do know this, I do apologize, but I always find it very useful, I must say. There are 3 main sources of our knowledge, authorized knowledge, why we think Krishna is supreme. One is Guru, spiritual master, Sadhu, then that's the devotees, and then we have Shastra, the holy books. And of course, as we always joke, this joke is a little out of date now, but we have a 4th source of knowledge, which is Google. So if you haven't heard that before, it means you're very new. Based on these 3 sources of knowledge below is some of the basis why Krishna is regarded to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the fundamental source of all knowledge, and then we've categorized it in different ways. Now, of course, are very limited in how we do, so there's going to be loads of gaps, loads of mistakes, but this is our little attempt. And why is Krishna the Supreme? Well, in summary, there's 9 points. The Lord's supremacy is mentioned in the revealed scriptures. Krishna is in charge of the devatas, the demigods, the administrators of this world, which demonstrates that he is the supreme. Krishna describes his own position as the supreme in the Bhagavad Gita. He establishes his divinity as well by demonstrating it. His qualities are also enumerated, so they've been listed out, and how they compare with others. That's very interesting. Also, we have the Lord's description given in the scriptures by the devotees. The Lord's history is also given, dating back to billions of years in just this one universe described in the scriptures again. He's been seen. And we know where he lives. We know his address. So on the basis of this 9, we're going to go into some detail into this 9. So it's going to take a little while, hopefully not too long. But we've tried to be a little bit thorough. But there will be lots of areas where we've missed points. And if devotees are able to share their realizations, where we've got some gaps, I'd like to fill the gaps. Of course, Krishna, his position is nobody can know it. Even he himself struggles to know his own qualities. So who are we? But if we try our best, because this is such an important topic, to be able to convince others, it's just nice to participate in this. So the first point, the Lord's supremacy is mentioned in the review scriptures. Apologies, the writing is a little small, but I just wanted to flow through because these presentations hopefully we'll use in the future. So we want to just do it in a way that it flows okay. So the Vedic scriptures are the only scriptures that have existed since the beginning of time. And now they've been written in Kali Yuga by the literal incarnation of God, Vyasadeva. And thus they're regarded as eternal and the absolute truth. Lord Brahma, who is the first created living being, and also the head of our sampradaya, this sampradaya which Prabhupada has very kindly exposed to the whole world. The head of it is Lord Brahma himself, the first living being. And he states in his Brahma Samhita, which has been written after he had personal audience with the Lord, he states the following. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Nadiradir Govinda Sarva Karanam. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal, blissful, spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin. He is the prime cause of all causes. Fundamental verse.
Raji, what shloka you have told?
This is Ishvara Parama Krishna.
From the
The
Brahma.
Satchidananda Vigraha.
Ah,
Nadi Nadir Govinda Sarva Karana Karnam.
you my hero. Well done. Thank you, Riyansh. And in that Brahma Samhita, there's only a small section of it that's been found actually. But in this section, it's a glorious section because he offers some wonderful prayers to the Lord. And all of those prayers end with this one line. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. And that translates as, I worship Govindam, the primeval Lord. So Govindam Adi Purush, Adi, original, Purush, Lord, the first progenitor. So this is Lord Brahma, right? So when we go back to Guru Shadhu Shastra, he's a Shadhu, and he's also our Guru because he's the head of the Sampradaya. And also this is written in the Brahma Samhita, which is scripture. So he fulfills all three of those. So that evidence alone is enough for us. But we carry on. After describing various incarnations of the Lord, such as Rama, Balaram, Vaman, Nasingha, Vishnu, Sukadev Goswami states in the Bhagavatam, beautiful verse. Used to know this, can't remember it now. All of the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. That is Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. So the evidence for that is in the Bhagavatam 1.3.28. Beautiful verse. And this is a little diagrammatical presentation we want to show. It's crude, but it makes the point. Krishna is the original cause. Of course, many Hindus believe that Vishnu is the original Godhead. Because from when Krishna came to this world, he first appeared as Vishnu, four-handed, to Devaki and Vasudha.
Raji, where is Vaspa? Vaspa.
Sorry?
Vaspa.
What's Waspa? It's okay.
Okay. So that is often the view of many, many Hindus, understandably, that Vishnu appeared and then transformed as Krishna. But actually, the scriptures say otherwise, as do the devotees, as do the Guru, that Krishna is the original cause of causes. From him, the first expansion is Balaram, who expands as the first quadruple, Vasudeva, Shankarshan, Padumna, and Nirodha, who then Shankarshan expands as Narayan, and that Narayan lives in the Vaikuntha. And we'll see that a bit later on. And then from Narayan comes these other incarnations. And then ultimately we have the Purusha avatars, these last three, Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, who are in charge of the creation of this world. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Fantastic. Try to remember that. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. He is a source of all incarnations. He's called Avatari. He is Amshi, the origin of all Amshas or expansions. Lord Shiva in the Gita Mahatmya, he says, only one God, Krishna, the son of Devaki, verse number 7. In the Padma Purana, so we're going to go through some of the scriptures, not all of them because there's too many. By scrutinizingly reviewing all the revealed scriptures and judging them again and again, it is now concluded that yes, is the supreme absolute truth, and he alone should be worshipped. In the Skanda Purana, in the material world, which is full of darkness and dangers, which combined with birth and death and full of different anxieties, the only way to get out of the great entanglement is to accept loving, transcendental devotional service to Lord Vasudeva. Many scriptures quote like this. The position of Krishna, so that's the Shastra. Now we look at the Bhakta. The position of Krishna as God is confirmed by great personalities like Narad, Ashita, Devala, Parasara, Brahma, Shiva, and that's from Bhagavad Gita. For Bhagavad Gita only mentions the first four. Chapter 10, text 12 and 13. This form is not dependent on any others. And this is from Laghu Bhagavat Amrita, 112. That's Sanatana Goswami. Krishna as the cowherd boy in Vrindavan is Swayam Rup. This is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. This Swayam Rup never leaves Golok, as he always is enjoying the highest ecstasy of Madhurya Ras there. So this is quite an interesting point, which we will take up next week. He never leaves Golok. So how does that work when he goes to Mathura? So we'll tackle that next week. Krishna is, so that's the first point. Second is Krishna is in charge of the devatas. Where's the evidence for this? In the Bhagavatam, we were very fortunate to do this very recently. Canto 3, 25th chapter, 42nd verse. It is because of my supremacy that the wind blows out of fear of me. The sun shines out of fear of me. And the Lord of the clouds, Indra, sends forth showers out of fear of me. Fire burns out of fear of me. And death goes about taking its toll out of fear of me. So this is actually Lord Vishnu speaking, but we know, we've seen the diagram that actually Krishna is the source of even Lord Vishnu. And we'll see a little bit later on how that fits within the overall Godhead. So this is an interesting chart. Krishna is actually the source of Hanuman, Ganesh, Durga, Saraswati, Surya, Brahma, Shiva, Kartikeya. They're not independent of him. He's independent of everyone. He can exist without anybody. We cannot exist without him. I know. So we're going to go on a little bit. I hope devotees are okay with that. Lord Brahma confirms in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, what am I? A small creature measuring 7 spans of my own hand. I am enclosed in a pot-like universe composed of material nature. the total material energy, force, ego, ether, air, water, and earth. And what is your glory? Unlimited universes pass through the pores of your body, just as particles of dust pass through the openings of a screened window. So Brahma is showing how insignificant he is. So this is all part of the evidence from the scriptures that Krishna, Vishnu, the supreme. Lord Shiva confirms in Bhagavatam again, my dear Lord, you are the topmost of all bestowers of benefit, of all benediction, the oldest and supreme enjoyer amongst all enjoyers. You are the master of all the world's metaphysical philosophy. For you are the supreme cause of all causes. Lord Krishna, you are the greatest of all religious principles, the supreme mind, and you have a brain which never is checked by any condition. Therefore, I repeatedly offer my obeisances unto you. So we're just looking at the main demigods, not even anybody else. So Indra, he says, again in the Bhagavatam, obeisances unto you, the Supreme Personality Godhead, the Great Soul, who are all pervading and are residing in the hearts of all. My obeisances unto you, Lord Krishna, chief of the Yadu dynasty. Yamraj, what does he confirm? He says to his servants, my dear servants, you have accepted me as a supreme, but factually I am not. Above me and above all the other demigods, including Indra and Chandra, is the one supreme master and controller. The partial manifestations of his personality are Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. See, he's saying partial manifestations, includes Vishnu, who are in charge of creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this world. He is like the other two threads that form the length and breadth of a woven cloth. The entire world is controlled by him, just like a bull is controlled by a rope in its nose. And also Ganesh, in the Brahma Samhita, we have this prayer by Brahma, I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, whose lotus feet are always held by Ganesh upon the pair of tumalai protruding from his elephant head in order to obtain power for his function of destroying all the obstacles on the path of progress of the three worlds. So sometimes they're mistaken to be part of Godhead, but they're not. Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Yam, Ganesh, all of these are dependent on God. They're not independent of God. They're little gods. So the third point, how he describes his own position in the Bhagavad Gita, like the Supreme Father, text 144, 14.4. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature. And I am the seed-giving father. Again, in 9th chapter, he says, I am the father of the universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. Who can claim this? Somebody extraordinary can claim this. He's the supreme creator. And he says in 9.8 Bhagavad Gita, the whole cosmic order is under me. By my will, it is manifested again and again. By my will, it will be annihilated at the end. Furthermore, O Arjun, I am the seed, generating seed of all existence. There is no being, moving or unmoving, that can exist without me. 10:39. And then the famous verse, Rianch, 10:8. Aham sarvaso prabhavo.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattam sarva pravartate iti matva vajante ma buddha bhava samanvitaha. Machita markata prana paraspara atyantasya mamu nitya tusyanti charamanti cha Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam dhritti purvakam dadami bhukti yogantam ema mamupayanti ten tesham evan kampadamaham ajnana jantama nasyan jnanma bhavastu jnana deepena basvata.
Well done. I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years he'll be reciting all of that Bhagavad Gita. So, okay. Go on.
I'm the source of all spiritual material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in
my devotional service and worship with their hearts.
Very good, boy. Keep going.
Of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world, know for certain that I am both the origin and the dissolution.
And then he's also the supreme controller. Go on.
I give heat and I withhold and send forth the rain. 919. With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. From 1042.
He's also the maintainer.
The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of the whole world, comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me. This is 1512. I enter into each planet, and by my energy, they stay in orbit. 1513. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. 910.
He's also everywhere.
I'm the super solar Arjun, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I'm the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. 1020.
Omnipotent means nothing greater.
There's no truth beyond me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. 7.
Omniscient, knows everything.
Oh, Arjun, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, all things are yet to come. I also know all living entities. 726. And it says, many, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. It's 4-5.
And then this is a classic.
Those who are devotees of other gods and worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti. But they do so in a wrong way. I'm the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. It's 924.
This is the clincher. Okay, you can worship other gods, no problem. But indirectly, you're worshiping me only because I am the one giving them the ability to give you anything, to allow them to worship you in the first place as well. So this is the clincher. So this is all in the Bhagavad Gita. Next, the point 4, his divinity is demonstrated. So anybody we can claim to be God, right? But who can actually prove it? So to prove to innocent people, get away from the imposters, Arjun asked Lord Krishna to prove his divinity.
So they know something that they say that I am the God. Then we have to ask, you have all strength, you have all fame.
Yeah. Good.
You
Good.
have all it.
Very good point, Rianch. Anybody who claims to be God, we have to question them. How are you God? Have you got all strength? Very good. Well done. And also, can you show us this? What Arjun was shown. He was granted divine vision and Krishna revealed his spectacular unlimited forms as a cosmic universe. Thus, Vaishnavas argue that he conclusively established his divinity. Arjun saw in that universal form, this is chapter 11, unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding. If hundreds and thousands of suns were to come at the same time in the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. There you go. In each incarnation, Krishna proved that he's God, details of which can be found in the Bhagavatam. Here, we will focus on the incarnation or his actual coming himself 5,000 years ago. He performed miracles that nobody else has. When he was 7, he lifted Govardhan. And that was witnessed by thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people. We have witnesses who were there. He expanded his body into 16,108 forms, married 16,108 wives, had 16,108 palaces. He transformed himself into others. When Brahma kidnapped the cowherd boys and calves, he expanded himself into each and every cowherd boy and calf. He showed his universal form to Mother Yashoda as well. This was a little bit different from what he showed to Arjuna. He killed all the wicked kings who were tormenting and harassing the public. People were saved in his very lifetime and didn't have to wait for the day of judgment. When Draupadi was being disrobed in the court of kings, she called out to Krishna for help, and he supplied her with unlimited sari, and she could not be disrobed. Many atheists tried to kill Krishna. He easily defeated them all and gave them liberation. He's very merciful. He gives liberation even to those who try to kill him. And this is proving his divinity. He brought back to life many people, including the six sons of Devaki, including his own guru's son. He cured diseased people, transformed a hunchback into the most beautiful woman, simply in return for a sandalwood pulp. So that's the fourth point. His divinity is proven.
Prabhuji, Krishna helped his guru to where his son was died, and he asked one ocean that where is my guru's son?
Good. Very good. Then the fifth point, his qualities. 64 qualities is what is regarded by the six Goswamis. Of course, his qualities are unlimited. These are 64 prominent qualities. Compared to him, Vishnu has 60 qualities. There's 4 which Vishnu doesn't possess. And compared to Vishnu, Shiva has 55. There's 55 qualities Shiva doesn't possess that Vishnu possesses. And Brahma has 50 qualities, 5 less than Shiva. And we as living entities, we also have these 50 qualities in very small, minute quantity. When we develop the qualities, we can potentially also become Brahma if we so desire, if these 50 qualities manifest in us in full. But it's heavy, it's quite an ask. So Brahma can be a living entity, ordinary living entity. But Shiva cannot be. Shiva is always distinguished. Nobody can become Shiva. We can become Brahma, but not Shiva. And nobody can become Vishnu or definitely Krishna. But you can see from this analysis that Krishna stands even beyond Vishnu. Bhagwan, it says, has 6 opulences: beauty, strength, knowledge, renunciation, wealth, and fame. Also, it said, if we chant 1,000 names of Vishnu, the Vishnu Sahasranam, it's equal to chanting 1 name of Ram. And if we chant 3 names of Ram, that's equal to chanting 1 name of Krishna. So if we say Krishna, it's like saying 3,000 names of Vishnu. This is all given in the scriptures. Okay, his description is provided. We know what he looks like. How can you believe in someone without actually seeing them or knowing what they look like? Lord Krishna had a form which has been described in detail in the Brahma Samhita, Bhagavatam, and many other scriptures. His form is like a human being. Even the Christian Bible states that man is made of an image of God. This means that God is a person with 2 hands, 2 legs. Humans are made in his image. His complexion is dark blue, like that of a rain-filled cloud. His eyes are lotus petal. He's ever youthful. He likes to play the flute. He likes to dance as well. There was one philosopher who said, I can't believe in a God who can't dance. He wears a peacock feather in his crown. He wears kastuba jewel around his neck. He wears yellow garments. He's got broad shoulders and chest. He's got deep navel point. Curly hair reaches his shoulders. Magnificent smile. Wearing it always, come what may. He's full of bliss and his beauty excels that of thousands of cupids. He's got lotus-like eye, black eyes, lotus-shaped, deep, heavy, deep voice and sharp features. So we know what he looks like. We know his history. So we're nearly finished now, actually. Further details on the pastime of Lord Krishna in each of his incarnations can be found in the Bhagavatam. The Vedic scriptures contain the history of Krishna dating back to billions of years. We've also seen him, right? We can see him every day in his deity form. Apart from that, he's incarnated many times in the current cycle of creation. In each incarnation, millions saw him. Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago, and archaeologists have found the city where he lived in Dwarka, as described in the Vedic scriptures. I don't know how true this is, could be part of this false news, but NASA has taken satellite pictures of the bridge between India and Sri Lanka that Lord Krishna built in his Ram incarnation, some 1.7 million years ago. And we know where he lives. We know he's got his address. Bhagavatam gives the address, as well as the Brahma Samhita of Lord Krishna, as the topmost planet shaped like a lotus called Golok Vrindavan in the spiritual sky. And here it is. We live in this crazy part of the creation, which is part of his creation. This is Mahesh.
Where is Ayodhya? I cannot see. It is very small.
It is, yeah, very, very small. You're right. This is the Brahman effulgence, the sunshine from the Lord, or the light from emanating from the Lord. This is Vaikuntha. This is Ayodhya. Ayodhya is
Where Ram born.
between Golok and Vaikuntha. It's in between the two. This is where Ram is. This is where Ram, Lakshman.
And I like Golok Vrindavan.
Golok, absolutely, that's the place. And that's where he lives. We got his address. So we just got to put it into our GPS. And that, of course, is the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And we will reach there. So this is the main points. Just a very quick point about his, the original form of God is Krishna. He has the eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin. He is the cause of all causes. But are there many gods, or is there one God, right? We can see there's many forms of God. There's Vishnu, there's Ram, there's Krishna. So is it polytheistic? That's the point. Or is it monotheistic? And this is very confusing. Especially when we go to schools. Oh, you believe in many gods. That's one of the standard comment we get. But it's not the case. Bhagavad Gita clearly states that there is one God. But the Vedic conception of God, it goes beyond this monotheistic or polytheistic. And this is given by a devotee called Chaitanya Charan. Sorry. Chaitanya Charan gives this amazing description. I really love it because it's such an accurate description of what we believe. It's polymorphic monotheism. Polymorphic, God can expand himself. So it's monotheistic, but God can expand himself into many forms. So it's polymorphic. But there are also many personalities like the devatas, demigods, who are intermediaries. So it's multi-layered in the sense that there are different levels of personalities. So it's multi-layered, polymorphic monotheism. And then, of course, we know that God is not just male. God is female as well. They are the divine couple. So one soul, one supreme soul,
Radharani.
manifested as two, Radharani. So it's bi monotheism. So actually the concept is this: multi-layered, polymorphic bi-monotheism. So if anybody asks you, you could give that reply and you would probably get a lot of silence back. So conclusion is everybody's looking for God, and there's plenty of evidence that Lord Krishna is God. So that's where I wanted to stop. And Sri Krishna Chandra Bhagwan ki jai. Are there any questions, anything missing from this analysis? There will be lots missing because we are very limited in what we can do.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Sam.
Hare Krishna. Mataji said, if you offer your lamp during Damodara month to the sky, cannot invoke the entire creation or something like that. I didn't really get it.
Yeah, because he's the source of all creation. Ah, she's back. Sam is asking about, you know, when you offer the lamp to the sky, what is the significance?
Okay, so the significance was that any ancestors that are just floating around, don't have a body or something, it benefits them.
But the other bit was how you are worshipping the Creator.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. The main thing is, that you saying that Krishna is everywhere. So that's why I'm offering the lamp everywhere, not just to the deities.
Okay, that's good. I just wanted clarification.
Okay.
That's good. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Saraswati Durga Devi is also a god, but she's
demigod. Yeah, that's correct. Anybody, any questions? What about our usual suspect? Anil, is he there? No.
No, he's left.
Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? Any comments? Okay. So.
Hello. Sorry. I couldn't. I missed the starting. Will this be sent to
yes.
Can you send it to me?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. We'll see you tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. See you tonight. So we're doing Damodara now as well.
Okay.
So tonight as well, if devotees are free, we will be on at 7:30. And you're welcome to join us. Indulekha Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Is this something that you were looking for? The analysis of Lord Krishna as Supreme Lord?
Actually, I was not, Prabhuji. Somebody asked that question. That's why I brought the question up. And also I explained through the Dasavataram. So yes, I managed to explain, but thank you for clarification, and you're sending these notes so I can show them as well.
Good. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Need to go on to shares.
Oh yeah. So shall we do the Nishinga Kavach first, because then we can set it up.
Okay.
Today I offer the ghee lamp to Krishna.
Good. You can do it at least 3 times a day, okay? If possible.